Hello, everyone, and this is Shah from Say What SG, and welcome to the first podcast with Say What SG in 2024. And today, I would like to welcome my guest. He is Zul. We call you Zul, right?
Zul, yes.
Okay. So Zul is here to share about his humanitarian efforts. It's going to be a very, very interesting talk and discussion with him. But with all things, let me just introduce our episode for today. Okay, Zul?
Okay, sure. Can.
Okay, so for this year, Say What SG aims to just meet up with as many like-minded individuals who are very chill, with nevertheless very unique life journeys. I believe that nothing is of coincidence. Everything was meant to be, and so I hope that the guest that we bring over at Say What SG is going to give us some inspiration, some takeaways to learn from the lessons that they've gone through, from their obstacles, their challenges, and their celebrations in life. And with that, this year, we are also looking at the theme of soft and strong. So I know these two words are like very opposites.
Very.
Very opposites, very just. So, but I feel that now more than ever, being strong is just like not strong. Not the strong
It's
that I
not-
know before.
It's not about physically strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not showing your power,
Mm.
like the authoritarian power that you have, that kind of thing. I feel that now in this era, having the emotional intelligence, having our care, concern, the caring side of humans, right? It actually is like pretty strong character, very admirable character.
To match your soft and strong, that would be the soft skills of making you stronger.
Mm.
Right?
Yes, and that empowers people.
Yes.
So that makes you strong. So macam soft makes you strong.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So it's so relatable to you. Okay. Yes. Okay. So having said that, yeah, I really hope that this resonates with people out there.
Mhm.
Okay. And so what better way for me to introduce soft and strong is with you. Okay. Very tengok strong kan Zul kan?
I
Okay.
mean,
Okay, tell us your background. Okay, like
Okay.
your age. Okay lah. I think age is not something to hide already, right?
Tak apalah.
Okay.
Age, I'm always 25. So
Mm.
to begin, Assalamualaikum. My name is Zul. I am 41 this year. I am currently a public servant. I've been a public servant for a good 8 years. This is my 8th year. So, working in a public setting, you get to see a lot of things that you don't necessarily see when you're a private sector. Because you are, for private sector, you can selalu macam one-sided, macam, oh no, it's me,
Right.
you know.
Because the ultimate goal is profits.
Correct. The ultimate goal is always about yourself lah,
Yes,
and your
right.
need. But bila you private sector, you tend to see people who you are serving as something macam as people lah, as people that
Yes,
you tak
yes.
nampak, you know, the
Right.
people that you're competing with, and you
Right.
see their strife, you see diorang punya hardship, so you go like, oh, you tend to build a bit more of maybe a soft spot for that. Yeah,
Right. So civil servant.
civil servant, yes.
A servant, what do you call it now? That term, servanthood, is it? Like, I don't know what is
Servantship. Yeah, servantship.
Apalah, servanthood. Yeah, but that's. I think that's very empowering.
It is actually.
Yeah. Yes, never that. We are not saying private sector people. You all just go ahead and do your thing and rock the world. But yes.
Because I think for private sector, you punya end game is completely different. Macam you cakap, it's always the dollars and cents. It's always the profits. Tapi for public servants or public industry, like I would say civil industry, you tend to have a little bit more of touch with these people that you are serving, so you know apa yang the public actually wants, and then you try to fit into dorang punya tu. So it's easier for you to work with them, and it builds more trust from them to you.
Right. Being trained or being prepared for your position as a public servant, it actually builds you to be the person that you are also.
Yes, that's true.
We kind of like, we can like reflect and think about our occupation as something that is also building us up as individuals.
Yes, correct. Because
Well,
I have a boss previously, yang wherever you're working, if you're not growing, move. It's not worth staying. Yeah, if you're not growing, if you don't feel that you're growing, move.
Right.
It's not worth doing. It's not worth wasting your time, spending your time. Move on. Look for something else.
This is when you're in the private or public?
Private.
In
This
the
was in the private, yes. So
It's
he
very
also decided to move after me, lah. So
But I think, yes, in life, let's not like get too comfortable with things.
yes,
And so to have this mindset in the public service ship is a very empowering one. And that's when like the whole community can move together and like improve. Yeah.
correct.
Okay, so before this, right, tell us where you go to school, like what do you specialize in?
Okay. So primary school for me was quite normal. I was from Eunos Primary School. Initially, I'm dari Chao Nan, and then my parents moved, so we moved to Eunos Primary.
Right.
So nothing much interesting happened for primary school. Then in secondary school, I went to Tampines Secondary School.
Back to Tampines.
Back to Tampines. So during that time, I think Tampines Secondary School was one of the more notorious schools.
Oh yes,
but
I was from St. Hilda's.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we always see the boys at the interchange.
Yes. Guilty, yes. But we were nothing compared to schools macam what was this in Changkat Changi.
Oh yes.
Greenview, for example, in Pasir Ris. But we okay lah, kita understanding.
Understanding. I don't know how many of you are from those schools mentioned. You're
So,
you're the real thing, man.
yes, our generation was the best generation.
Yes, really. I love it. I love my teenage years.
Correct.
Like we didn't have social media.
Yes.
We didn't have social media, and so to link up with people and grow your network is not through likes, people.
Yes.
It is through the people you know, the interchange.
Yes. The lack of social media makes us more social.
Yes, exactly.
And we mix. Bila kita secondary school, we mix with a lot of people from other schools, and macam things that you will not get even when you're Instagram or you're on Facebook or any other social media. Kan? Exactly. It's only your friends that you mix with. Oh, ni classmate. Okay, add. But it's not like someone like, ni dari sekolah tu. You know that kind of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, resourceful lah back then.
We were.
Macam naik MRT, pergi Orchard.
The interchange was MySpace back then.
Yes. Sis selalu macam malu je nak pass by to interchange. But yes. To meet people and network, that's a risky lah, actually back then. And it empowers us also to be able to speak with others. I think thank God, because we learn how to see that, yes, and have the confidence. Correct. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so moving after Tampines Sec.
You asked about speciality. So during secondary school, my specialty was truancy. And a lot of other things, like juvenile delinquents, all that. Like, I wasn't so bad, but I banyak campur dengan ni. Then
you were being a boy.
Yes, being a boy, being a teenager. Yes. So after secondary school, I had an option to after O levels, kita dah graduate apa semua, everybody was happy. So I remember my graduation for my O levels. My principal was saying, okay, everybody, kalau you tak do well, it's fine. You know, you boleh repeat in the school year, except for that class. So it was my class. Except for that class, none of you can repeat. You want to repeat, you go somewhere else. So I was like, okay, fine. So looking at my first results, I was okay. So I was invited to Temasek Poly.
Zul ni macam nakal-nakal pun tetap boleh. Alhamdulillah.
So I was invited to Temasek Poly for some courses, tapi I didn't want it because I mati-mati nak mechatronics. I wanted to show people that, mechatronics, I want to go to mechatronics, you know.
Okay.
So I retook my O levels.
Okay.
I retook my O levels for 1 year at a private tutor.
Okay.
So after that O-level, I think that was in 98, 99. So
Right.
after the results, I went back to Temasek Poly and they said, okay, so now you have mechatronics, you have mechanical engineering.
You opened up more.
So I
They
opened up
opened up
more.
more
So
options.
which ones do you want? Then I told myself, no, I want to try working and see what money is in my hands. Yeah. So I forgo
After
going to after work. Yes.
as in like after you dah invest your time and to study
Correct.
and improve and mak dah bayar duit tuition.
Yes. Sorry, Mak.
Thinking boy. He's a thinking boy. Okay.
So at that point of time, when I retook my O-levels to get
Okay.
mechatronics, what I told myself was, takkan aku tak boleh dapat. Mesti boleh dapat. You know? And I worked for it and I got it. And then when I got it, I was like, okay lah, try something else. Yeah, so I decided to, okay, pergi kerja. Nak pergi kerja to earn money. So, I tak pergi poly. Me and 2 or 3 other friends, close friends, we started looking for jobs. So
Okay.
we kerja dengan, I remember that time was Singtel Mobile 1626 yang people orang telefon untuk marah-marah.
Yeah, betul.
So the money was good. Hari-hari kerja naik taxi. By the way. So the money was good. Kita we were happy lah, kita pegang duit semua kan. So after that NS called. Then masuk NS, then NS is another creature on its own lah. They build you, they build you up as a person to
Right.
become a bit more responsible.
Okay.
So thank God for NS too. So after NS, I told myself, okay lah, I can go back to poly because I have the credentials. Dah boleh masuk, go back to poly to study lah, to continue. You know?
Right.
Then I thought, no, tapi aku ada duit. Why don't I travel? So I started traveling. I started traveling around Southeast Asia, mostly Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia. So
Do you do this alone or with
sometimes
friends?
alone. Most times alone. Most times alone. So macam okay, talking about alone travel kan, I have a special place. Phuket has a special place in my heart.
Oh.
So I think up to this year I just visited Phuket about 7 times now. So
You
most of
left
the
your
times,
heart there lah.
yes, yes. So 6 different times in Phuket, no, 7 different times in Phuket, 7 different beaches. Maybe duduk sana 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, and come back. Yeah.
Okay.
So to sustain that lifestyle pula, I thought, nak ada duit kan, okay lah, ambil lesen motor. Ambil lesen motor, kerja Canadian. So 3 bulan kerja,
Canadian pizza.
Yeah.
2 for 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Good pizzas. So
Yeah. I agree.
3 bulan kerja, 1 bulan ambil off. Then I cari mana nak pergi. Okay, pusing. Then 3 bulan lagi kerja, 1 bulan off. Until my boss at that time cakap, you going this month or after the 3 months? So dia buatkan roster.
He's prepared. Dia dah
He's prepared.
redha dengan the
Dia dah
situation.
tahu. So dia cakap macam, kau nak pergi bulan 3 ke kau nak pergi bulan 6? Which one? Because bulan 6 holiday. Say, I take July. July okay, so I set you until June lah. So okay lah, can. So he set me until June. Then July he tahu
He
one
knows.
one month. I tak ada. So it's like that. So it went on for about 2 years, I think.
Wow, I think you punya experience for a guy who's like in his early 20s.
At that time I was 20, between 22 to between
Right?
23 to 24 or 20.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 21 to 24.
I think you've clocked in like a person who's 30 years old, punya traveling experiences, life experiences.
I
No one
have,
does
yeah.
this. Zul, no one does this.
I have seen, maybe at that point of time when I think back now, and I do consider that I have seen quite a few things that only people my age now, macam my friends, who are able to see. Yeah, so macam diorang macam, kau tahu aku pergi Hong Kong, aku dapat ni. I was like, okay lah, that time aku pergi sama je. You know, like I was there. You know what I mean? One of the travels that I had, which was a major eye opener lah for me, was my train ride through Thailand. So I took a train. I flew dari Singapore. I flew to Chiang Mai. Then lepas tu from Chiang Mai naik train, then pergi Chiang Rai, then pergi Bangkok.
Okay.
Then came back down to Hajai. Then from Hajai, I was thinking, ni nak balik Singapore, nak naik bas malas kan. Okay lah, fly. So I korek savings just to fly back, you know. And then to fly back, I was like, okay, tak apa, next month kerja. Yeah. So it was so great that I think a few years later, 2017 ke 2014, 2015, I pestered my cousin in Malaysia. I pestered dia, jom kita naik train, kita pergi Thailand. Tak nak. Okay, tak apa. Dari Johor kita naik bus pergi mana ni? Pergi Alustar. Dan dari Alustar kita jalan kaki masuk Danok. Dan dari Danok kita naik taksi pergi Hajai punya station, kita naik train kita pergi Bangkok. Then he like, kau tahu kan benda tu leceh? Saya, yes. Okay, fine. So he followed. Then bila naik train, dia happy. He was very happy. Dia cakap, okay, it's a very good experience, but it's not something that he wants to do again.
Once is enough for him.
Yeah.
Okay, like why Zul? Why do you want to go through this?
Correct. So, in 2008 was the second memorable trip for me was in 2008, 2009. That was when I masuk Malaysia. I traveled around. I made sure I traveled to all the islands of Malaysia. Yeah. But I still missed out on 2 ke 3 islands lah. So, itu pergi, come back. So it was that point of time was very tiring because some places I pergi naik motor, some places I pergi naik bus, some places I pergi naik kereta api, some places I pergi macam buat kawan, then they was like, oh nak stop mana? Nak stop Terengganu. Okay, saya turun situ, abang pergi sendiri. Boleh?
Like hitchhiking.
Jumpa orang kat kedai makan, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it was quite fun lah. It was quite fun. But along the way, you meet macam orang kampung, then you see diorang punya lifestyle, then you think back, I have all this at home. I have, kenapa diorang tak ada? Kenapa susah sangat diorang nak dapat air? It's so stupid, Like for me lah, when I say, it's so stupid. Buka pipe dapat air. But when they open, then you see like, oh, okay, tak ada air, I see. Yeah. So, yalah, we macam tengok, okay, oh, this is what I have. Macam I take for granted lah. But it was a learning journey lah throughout. Yeah.
Wow.
Then I came back. I stopped in about 2009, early 2010.
Okay.
Then I got a letter from Temasek Poly. They had a new course for part-timers that was paralegal studies.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been interested in legal studies. So bila I tengok paralegal studies, okay lah, try. So I went.
During your time, when you could enter Poly as a full-time student, there was already legal studies?
They had law management.
Yes.
So they had law and management first. So paralegal studies was like
yeah, it came later.
I
was from TPU. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But so, at that time, I don't think it's called parental.
No, it was called law and management.
Yes.
So paralegal studies is similar. Cuma some of the electives for law and management kan became our core subjects.
Oh, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, macam accounting and all these things that I cannot do. Yeah, so they were not my core.
I can't do it. So, okay. So, was that what pulled you to the course? So you entered that course. You entered that course.
Yeah, I did. I entered.
So mama, Okay, sorry.
I entered the course. I studied. I was a straight C student. Yeah, but so before I masuk tu, I joined Cisco. Cisco as a auxiliary police officer.
Right.
Because my friend dah kat Cisco, so he say, masuk je lah, put money.
Okay, wait. So at this point, bye-bye to Canadian Pizza.
Bye-bye to Canadian, yeah. Okay. So I went to Cisco.
You wanted a full-time job?
I just wanted...
Or was it still a part-time?
It was full-time job, but I wanted a full-time job for me to be able to pay the paralegal studies punya down payment and the resources, the books, so the materials.
So you had like a time period.
Yes. I had about, I think, 6 months to consider. Then my friend cakap, masuk Cisco je lah, easy money. Masuk dapat tu, you get your...
was it like a gratuity?
You get your joining bonus. That's what you use. I said, okay. So I joined Cisco. I think I stayed there for about a year, 3 months, tak salah. And I left because they were not happy that my classes were at night. So I couldn't do night shifts. So I said, okay, if you cannot change for me, then I will leave lah. So I left. I left was 6 months into my studies. So I sat down and I was thinking to myself, okay, how do I get money to pay for this?
Right. So, and how long was the course?
The course was 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years time.
But it's 3 years also.
So you punya classes were... the other thing Cisco was not happy was my classes were every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, very
Monday,
rigorous,
Wednesday,
right?
So it's 3 nights, so they don't like it. So after leaving Cisco, I asked myself, so now what do I do? Then my friend told me, what course are you doing? Legal. Kau pergi campak lah resume tu. law firms. Maybe
Is
they
it
will
the
take
same
one.
friend that told you to go Cisco?
No, no, no.
Oh,
It was someone else.
very good friends.
So that guy, he still remains in Cisco.
Okay.
Until he left. He left to do something else now. Now he's another level lah. So
Wow.
yeah, one of my friends he's also a rags to riches story, I would say. Works from Cisco now. He stays in Sentosa Cove with his sister. Yes.
Okay.
So anyway,
that's for another day.
Yes.
Okay.
so I went to different law firms, multiple law firms, resume, and one law firm actually called me and interviewed me. Yeah, and I am thankful for him. He decided to take me on because his daughters were studying at that time. So he said, it's not easy to be studying and working, right? I said, yes. Can you cope? I said, I'm not sure. He said, okay, I'll try you. I said, okay. So I took him on. Then he asked me what's your expected pay. Yeah, so at that point of time, the one thing that for me, it has always been that like that. Money was not an issue because rezeki is luas. And jangan takut tak ada duit because
right. You just have to have enough.
Correct. If you have the will, you will get the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I told him, okay, I'm looking at a starting pay of this. He laughed at my face. He laughed and he's like, you're asking for that? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Nobody asked for that amount, I was like, okay, so you can give lah. Can I give you? Say okay. And I realized later on that he went to another firm after 4 months. So he took me on and then he moved to another firm. Because he was moving with another group to open his own firm.
I see.
But I didn't follow him because I had my own boss.
Right.
So at that point of time, I asked for $1,500 to start. Okay. And when
that
he
was
left,
way before market rate.
That was way below market rate.
Okay.
So when he left, he said, "Hey, as a present, I confirm you, and I give you your actual pay." I say, "Okay lah." So I look at it, I was like, "Oh, really? This one ah?" I say, "Yes. Why you asking so low? I told you right." He said, "Oh, okay."
So that same lawyer,
I remained in the firm.
right?
He made sure I was getting actually paid. Yeah. So I was getting actual pay. Yeah. So he gave me that pay. Then I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
Bertambahlah rezeki dia.
Yeah, correct. When you meet the right people, yes. So I stayed on. And yeah, then that was also the place where I met a very very good boss lah. So he also became a good life teacher because he is what I think bila jumpa dia he is easy 50 plus.
Right, like a life mentor.
Correct, like very father figure.
Life coach,
Correct,
life
very
coach.
life coach. Correct, very life coach. Although okay lah, kita banyak buat benda merepek-merepek, but still.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
so
yes.
he taught me a lot of things lah. So just now I mentioned to you about a boss who mentioned this to me that when you go into the workforce, wherever you're working, if you feel that you're not growing, leave, do something else. He was the one who taught me that. Yeah, but I stayed with him for 6 years lah before we all finally moved on.
Right, yes. And he moved on as well.
He moved on as well. Yeah.
Oh, wait, we have to pause your story for a while because I need to process and like take notes. I really feel that there's a lot. When I spoke to him before the recording, it's like, okay, I'll talk about my humanitarian efforts and like, yeah, nothing much, it's kind of like simple and straightforward. Like, no, it's not, though. It's an adventurous, like adulting and pre-adulting and adulting life that you have. Okay, can I just ask, how did your mom take it? That you are not the typical Singaporean boy? I need to like sign up with your mom on motherhood and having a very, very critical thinker as a son.
Mom, my mom. Being a typical mother, I love her with all my heart.
Right.
My father. She, of course, was not the most supportive of my life choices.
She was a working mom?
No, she's a full-time housewife. Yeah. So my father is
the sole
the sole
breadwinner at that
breadwinner,
time.
and he was working in ExxonMobil. So their first job, only job until he retired.
Oh, that's the era, the
Yeah,
boomers era.
yes, the boomers. Yes, the boomers
They
era.
are so loyal. My mom
Correct.
sticks with SIA like till now, macam
That's very long. That's
right?
very long, kan?
Very.
I stay in one location for 8 years, and I feel the itch. I cannot.
Right?
Yeah, cannot.
Yeah.
Even 5 years for that matter. Yeah, tak boleh.
It's already like long.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like the same thing again. Yeah.
So, okay, so obviously, as a stay-at-home mom, you are her KPI,
Yes.
right? And so, when this project took a turn on its own, many, many turns on its own, okay, like she wasn't very supportive, but I suppose banyak doa, is it? I don't know, I need to learn.
I think yes. Throughout my life journey, memang I hidup on doa ibu bapa, I suppose. Thank God. And maybe at one point of time they decided dah lah aku reda je lah. Dia nak buat apa.
Oh, which part, which section and junction of your life did your mom say, okay, you know Zul, macam kau still in one piece, kau balik balik, lepas tu pergi,
Yeah.
you're still in one piece, right? Was it at that time that she like, oh, what lah, kau fikir betul, Zul?
I think maybe it may have come at a point when ada satu period ni I balik daripada mana? I balik daripada Terengganu tak salah. Oh no, sorry. I balik daripada Desaru. So Desaru at that point of time, diorang ada surf competition for monsoon apa semua. So I would go and watch and join wherever I can. So I think I spent about 4-5 days over the New Year. I wasn't even back at New Year. Balik rumah 2 hari, and then cuci baju, then I was packing again. Then dia cakap, kau nak pergi mana ni? Nak pergi Thailand. And then she like, yeah. Then I think that was the point where she like, suka tinggal lah.
Like, as long as you're in one piece.
Yeah.
And, okay. And your dad is
My dad isn't
a very cool, macam no words kind of guy.
For a typical father, they are not very vocal at that point of time. Yeah, because I think their punya approach is more like, kalau aku buka mulut, people won't like it. You know, he is that sort lah. But that doesn't mean that you disrespect, or that doesn't mean that they don't love you anymore, or that doesn't mean that they don't care about you lah. You know?
Exactly. His love language is, I think, definitely acts of service, being the sole breadwinner.
Yes, correct.
Kan, like that is hands down being a very responsible dad lah. Kan.
Oh, sorry. She reminds me also, I think there was one point in my life also yang my mother betul-betul reda was bila I dapat lesen motor. So I ambil lesen motor without telling anybody. And then lepas tu I dah pass, then my mother was like, kau jangan ambil lesen motor. Then like, mak, ni my license. Kau jangan beli motor. Dah beli dekat bawah. So she like,
like what, nak marah, tak beli.
Semua dah buat.
And dia tak ambil duit aku. Jadi aku nak marah macam mana ya?
Yeah, so I think that was the part where she like macam, okay, I have to accept that he wants to do what he wants to do.
Yeah. And I suppose because you, like what I said, you are still in one piece. Macam, after all that and you're still okay? Okay lah. That means
Alhamdulillah.
Allah sajalah yang jaga you, kan? I suppose. Okay, I aspire to be like your mom. Being individuals who walk the path of life less walked on. Okay, that means the non-stereotype kind of life journey that you have. It takes parents who can accept. It takes parents who can support from deep inside them, because with their prayers and their conviction that he's going to be okay, it makes a whole lot of difference.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And I suppose sometimes it's nature versus nurture. I don't know about you. So maybe your parents macam nampak macam conservative and like maybe deep within them, right, they are living their lives through you vicariously.
Actually, when you bring that up, my wife and I actually had this talk before about maybe you are living your father's dream. Yeah. And although I tak cakap yang that is for sure lah, but I have seen people who I have met who are like that. Macam I'm living, so macam, but I didn't meet the kids. I meet the fathers themselves lah. So then bila ditanya lah macam, so anak kau buat apa? What does he do now? Cakap, my son gini-gini. Then cakap, see lah, things that I want to do, right? Never lah, let him do. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Then that brought me like, maybe I'm living my father's dream. Then bila I tanya my father, because my father pun avid traveler. He loves to travel.
Travel bugs in all of you.
In the whole family, like. Yeah. So he pun like to travel, and now, okay, so I said initially yang my father wasn't much of a talker kan. Until dia dah retire, then we started having very good bonds lah. So macam once or at least twice a month minimum, I will try to meet my parents, sit down, chat, talk to them, just to fill out their time.
Right.
Then my father talked to me lah. Then dia cakap, kau dah buat ni gini, ayah dulu gini. Then I started knowing like, okay, so he also has done a bit of that, a bit of this, but I jadi macam an extension of what he didn't get to do. So I'm like, yeah. So we talked about that. I talked about that with my wife lah. Then I was like, maybe.
Yeah. So in Makcik's heart, it's like, actually, I expected this.
Yeah, maybe,
Right.
right? Maybe.
Sometimes we mothers, we know like this one like that because my husband is like that. Okay lah, his pattern, I think he's just following his dad.
Correct. Because
cannot. Yeah, go ahead. Cannot.
Yeah, correct.
That's
correct.
a mother's job.
Must have a sense of security. Correct. But mother's intuitions rarely wrong. Yeah.
We are going to continue again in the next episode. But thank you, Zul. This episode has a lot of takeaways. So Zul has taken the road less traveled, and I take it as an inspiration. Whatever it is, whatever road less traveled you want to choose, make sure you have the money lah. Like Abang Zul, Uncle Zul, whatever it is.
Abang.
Abang Zul. Okay, so we'll catch you again next time with Say What SG. Bye.